I'm going to show you how to make a vegan shakshuka, complete with tofu eggs. Can't wait to show you how it's made. Let's look at the ingredients. I've got some cherry tomatoes, soy milk, garlic cloves, chili powder, coriander powder, cumin powder, olive oil, lemon juice, tofu, chilies, salt, chopped tomatoes, nutritional yeast, 2 peppers, and a white onion. Let's get started. So we're going to start with the tofu eggs. All the ingredients go in a blender. It's super simple and it's really quick. So we're going to start with some firm tofu. Just going to crumble it so that it's easier to blend. You can also use silken tofu, medium firm tofu, whatever's available. Just make sure you adjust the liquid that you add to get the right consistency. I prefer firm tofu because it firms up really easily when it's cooked. And it really feels like you're looking at eggs on a plate. Gonna go in with some nutritional yeast. It gives a really nice cheesy flavor and it's a good source of B12. We're gonna go in with some olive oil. Now I'm adding soy milk, but you can add whatever plant milk you like, just make sure it's unsweetened. And I'm adding a pinch of black salt. This is what gives it the eggy sulfuric flavor. Now it's time to blend. So I'm going to start off really slow and then pick it up so that all the bottom bits get blended first and then it starts to suck the rest in. All right, it's perfect. It's super smooth, still a bit thick. It's exactly what we want. All right, now it's time to prep all the ingredients that are gonna go into our skillet. We're gonna chop everything first. It's called mise en place, which is the French term for getting everything in place before you start cooking. Because once the pan is hot, we're just gonna keep adding all the ingredients one at a time. So I'm gonna start with my peppers. A lot of people don't enjoy chopping. Just make it fun. Find a way to... There's a lot of different tools as well that you can buy to make it easier. And the best thing is you don't really need to have amazing chopping skills for this recipe. As long as everything's similar size, it'll all just melt together once it starts to cook. So I'm gonna go for a dice. And then turn them this way. Get a nice dice. Again, if you can't get it this small, it's completely okay. Shakshuka is a very humble dish. It's very forgiving. You can just chop everything as big or as small as you want, as long as everything's similar size. It will still taste amazing. So a dish like this is perfect brunch dish. It all cooks in one pan. Everything just goes in and then you just let it sit. It's perfect for when you're trying to cook for people that are coming over. And visually it's stunning. Once we make these tofu eggs and put them in, you won't be able to tell that there are no actual eggs in there. This is a good way to practice your knife skills as well. If you are using a knife like this, the best way to hold it is to pinch with your thumb and index finger like this on the blade. Having your fingers on the blade gives you so much more control. So get your index finger here, your thumb on the other side, pinch, and use the rest of your arm to grip the handle. And then claw hands so that you don't cut yourself ever. It should brush past your knuckles so that you're always safe. And a sharp knife is a safe knife. Blunt knives always can go a little whack and then cut you. But if it's a sharp knife, it'll cut straight through in smooth movements. And then you can roll, you can go like that. There's a bunch of different techniques. So dishes like this are always an easy way to practice. This is how I learned how to chop. And if you are feeling really lazy and you want to do this, you can just throw everything in a food processor and it'll still taste amazing. This dish is a bit comforting, which makes it a bit spicy. We're going to use 2 chilies, but I'm going to remove the seeds so they're not going to be as spicy as they could be. I have a really bad habit of never washing my hands after cutting chilies, and I've never learnt my lesson. So at this stage, I would advise you to wash your hands after you've cut chilies and not go touch all over your face. So super fine, but again, you don't have to get it as fine as I am. Nice big slices are okay as well. All right, I'm gonna dice these onions as well. Again, same way, doesn't have to be perfect. Just down through the middle. I think I'm only gonna use half, it's quite a big onion. Make this a really fun activity, have some music playing in the background. Really just lose yourself in all these vegetables. So let's cut this differently actually. Instead of dicing it, I'm just gonna slice. So we'll just go through. So now we've got a bunch of different sizes, different textures. It's gonna make this dish really complex when you're biting into it. It's still all gonna melt together, but it's gonna feel, you're gonna start feeling that in your mouth. Also, I'm starting to cry now because, wow. Cooking makes me very emotional. Oh, wow. All right, we're gonna go in with the garlic. Just gonna smash them. And then give them just a tiny rough cut through. That's it, super simple. Done. And now the cherry tomatoes. So we're gonna save these yellow ones, the orange ones, for the egg yolk. So I'm just gonna get them cut in half through the middle. So these tops are gonna act as our egg yolk. So just straight through. You're gonna put the bottom into the shakshuka. Just have a few to choose from. Okay. So these are our egg yolks, kept separately. Everything else just gets a really nice rough chop. Doesn't have to be perfect. So around COVID, I think a lot of people were cooking this at home. Like a version of the shakshuka, because it's fairly cheap and you could just get tinned chopped tomatoes, eggs. All these things were available at the time. And yeah, people were making it. It was really picking up in all the brunch spots. And as a vegan, I would look at them and think like, I really want to try this, but obviously I do not eat eggs. And so I came up with the idea of using these cherry tomato tops as eggs, and tofu had been used as an everything replacement in veganism for years. So I put them together, and this was actually my first viral recipe. And this was back in the day of like photos. I didn't post a reel. Reels weren't a thing at that point. Somehow it reached a lot of people and they saw it and they followed me, and yeah, so this is now one of my favorite dishes to make for people because it really started my journey in this space. All right, that's everything. Now it's time to start cooking. So we've gotten our prep ready. Because we've done our mise en place, this next step is gonna be a breeze. It's just adding everything in. So let's get the pan nice and hot. I'm on a medium to high heat. I'm gonna go in with olive oil. And I'll coat the pan. You want something with a heavy bottom, like a skillet, because it distributes all the heat evenly, instead of having harsher spots in the middle and things like that with usual pans. All right, we're gonna go in with our onions and garlic. Really nice sizzle. I'm just gonna sweat them down. I don't want to brown them or anything, just really soften them. I'm gonna put a bit of salt. So salt helps break down the outer cell walls, which is why it releases, all your vegetables will release water as soon as it hits salt. All right, so they're starting to get a tiny bit brown. We're gonna go in with our spices. So chili powder first, coriander powder, and cumin. So they're gonna start releasing their aroma, releasing all their essential oils. We just want to temper them a light bit before we add all the ingredients that are quite high in moisture. All right, I'm going to go in with our chilies and our peppers. This dish is all about balance as well. We kind of want this base to have a bit of heat, more heat than you would usually add to your food, because then this will kind of neutralize that. This is a very neutral, plain, thick, creamy tofu base. So what will happen is you'll start to reach for that tofu as well, to kind of balance all those flavors. So it's cooking really nicely. Already a lot of really beautiful colors in here. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my tomatoes now. And my chopped tomatoes. Just give it a little mix. So again, right now they all look like a lot of different vegetables, but in a second it's all gonna start melting into each other. Just gonna flatten it out now and place a lid on top, so that all these vegetables just have time to get to know each other and soften. We'll come back in about 3 to 5 minutes. So this has been on for about 5 minutes. Let's give it a look. So it's starting to really come together, starting to melt together. I'm just gonna give it a turn. I do wanna reduce some of this liquid, so I'm gonna let it go a bit longer. I'd say another 5 minutes would make it really nice. All the steam in my face is the reason I look this good. But yeah, you're just gonna feel it through. I feel like some of these tomato chunks are still quite big and not as soft and squishy as I want them. So I'm gonna let it go slightly longer. And then, yeah, and then we'll see where we're at. All right, so this has been on for another 5-ish minutes. And look at that. This is exactly what we want. There aren't any big chunks of tomato anymore. I can basically smash them all down. And it all looks like one dish at this stage. The water's reduced. It's not super watery as well. It's really nice and jammy. This is exactly what we want. So I'm gonna add some of that lemon juice now. Just a tiny bit. And some more salt. And just give it a little mix. And now my favorite part, I'm gonna make those iconic shakshuka eggs. So I'm just gonna make little divots, nice wells in the middle. So now they have a place to sit. I reckon 4 eggs is plenty. And take a spoon, these tofu eggs that we made, just spoon them into the middle, flatten them out so that they look realistic. We don't want them to be perfect circles, a bit irregular, just like how if you cracked an egg open, it would kind of move all around and find its place. We'll have them different sizes as well so that they look realistic. All right. And now we're gonna go in with these tomatoes. Just down the middle, push them in a bit so that they're just peeking out. There we go. And now I'm just gonna cover it and let it all cook together for about 3 minutes now. And then we're done. All right, it's been sitting for 3 minutes. Let's have a look. There it is. Now all the water from the bottom has come up. So I'm just gonna let it sit a little bit without the lid, and so that all that water from the top evaporates and it becomes nice and creamy and jammy. So far, we made these tofu eggs in a blender. We cut these cherry tomatoes to look like egg yolks. We chopped all our ingredients, popped it in a really hot pan with a bunch of spices, cooked them down until they were nice and melted with each other, popped the eggs on top, and now we're just letting all that extra moisture evaporate. Okay, so a lot of that moisture from the top has gone away. A great way to do this is also popping it in the oven for a couple minutes. That way it will cook from the top as well as the bottom and not just cook the bottom. But this is now ready, so let's plate it up. I've got some chili flakes. And I'll get some fresh coriander. So adding this coriander will add a really nice pop of color. And that is a vegan tofu shakshuka.